Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namāmi Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Ishvaro Gururahatmiti Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Om Sahana Bhavatu So in this practice of prana, breathing, there are two words, purakam, rechakam. The puraka is inhalation, rechaka is exhalation. Then afterwards kumbhaka. All the three. Now we are looking into all these words. So meditation, with reference to these words. It's not really the word. The puraka is you have to fill up the lungs. You take in, rechaka you take out. So that concept, take out, what is to be taken out, not your breathing. What is to be taken out, what is to be negated. Then he tells here, what is to be thrown away. Nishedanam prapanchasya rechakakya samiranaha brahmaivasmiti yavrittihi Purakaha, purako vayuriritaha tatastad vrittinaischalyam kumbhakah pranasamyamaha ayam chapi prabuddhanam ajñānam grānapīditam pīdanam. Rechaka, breathing out. Negate, neti. Nishedanam. What Atma is not. We have to do both. Atma is not is very important. What Atma is not, very important, then only you get the paramarthika vastu. But nothing is away from Atma that makes your life complete. There is nothing that is non-Atma. And Atma is free from all of them. But Atma is construed to be a part of all of them, affected by all of them, and then for which there is a part of them as taken to be Atma. Then only it can be affected. Therefore, it has to be a part of them. The affected should be a part of what affects? And therefore, Atma becomes affected, becomes karma, object of suffering, caused by varieties of forces. And therefore, this subject becomes object, that itself is mithya. Subject becomes object. Subject itself is subject to suffering. And because of many other forces. Therefore, so this is all due to Atma being misconstrued as part of this whole. In fact, Atma is free from all of them. Therefore, you have to negate for paramarthika drishti, to understand exactly what is real. You have to negate what it is construed for. And therefore, there is a process of negation, and that is neti neti, not this, not this, not this. Idantaya yadyat grikhyate tatat nishidyate. Anything that is taken by you as object is negated. Therefore, not this, not this, not this, nedam, nedam, nedam iti, that is the negation. This negation is clearing out the lungs like rechaka. Therefore, nishedanam prapanchasya, the entire prapancha, the world, including your body-mind sense complex, negation thereof, all of them, nishedanam prapanchasya, rechakakya samirinaha, vayoho rechakakya. So the exhaled vayu, the exhaled air, and this exhaling of air is rechaka. And here, for the contemplator, this is rechaka. Negate anything that is inside. Anything that is inside means in the pratyagatma, the atmani, whatever that is loaded upon it by ajnana, that has to be negated. This negation is called rechaka. Then what is puraka? You fill up. Puraka means you fill up the lungs. And what is puraka here? So puraka is negated, but all the negated itself is then included. All the negated included, I am Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. Brahmaivasmi iti va vrityavrittihi purako vayuriritaha. So purakaha vayu. This air. Purakaha means the inhaled air. So the inhaled air, purakaha. And that is here Brahmaivasmi iti ya vrittihi. You bring in the vritti, and which says Brahma ahamasmi. I am Brahmaiva ahamasmi. I am indeed Brahman. I am only Brahman. There is nothing other than Brahman I am. Brahmaiva ahamasmi. Brahmaivasmi. Therefore I am Brahman. And I am not a part of Brahman. I am not some kind of, I am not one who enjoys some qualities of Brahman. I am indeed Brahman. Because there is a contention like that. That's why Evakara. Brahmaiva ahamasmi. I am not part of Brahman, I am Brahman. This is Puraka. I am Brahman is Puraka because it fills up your heart. I am Brahman. Because negation, then you can assume a neutral state. So I am Brahman, it's complete. So that after negating, when you say Brahman, Brahman won't be a concept. Brahman becomes you. So the meaning of Brahman, the lakshya of the word Brahman, the limitlessness, that becomes a reality, a self-revealing reality. Self-revealing reality means there is no ignorance about Brahman being Atma, self-revealing Atma being Brahman, and that Brahman being limitless is no more misconstrued. That's all what it is. Brahma lakshya. I become the targeted meaning of the word Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I am the meaning of the word, targeted meaning of the word Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, every word. Then Kumbhakam. Tatastad vrittichanaichalyam kumbhaka prana samyamaha ayam cha viprabuddhanam ajnanam grana pedanam. Vrittehe naischalyam. So that vritti, brahmaham asmiti ya vrittihi. Tataha, then, that means that vritti, brahmaham asmiti vrittehe, for this vritti, vrittis naischalyam, stays. That vritti stays, yielding its meaning. And then necessary again the vritti, yielding its meaning. And then again vritti, yielding its meaning. Again vritti, yielding its meaning. So this is the practice. So this practice, vritti nature, that is kumbhaka. You don't let out again. Okay? Therefore kumbhaka, that is the kumbhaka, retaining. That is the kumbhaka pranayama. Very interesting. So tatastad vritti naischalyam kumbhaka prana samyamaha. This is the discipline of prana samyama, which is called kumbhaka, the holding the breath. All this for prabuddhanam. I am chapi prabuddhanam. Even this kumbhaka also is only for the enlightened prabuddhanam, the awakened. The awakened people who know what it is all about, they alone can't contemplate. Ajnanam, for the ones who are not yet awakened, who are in the process, for them, this kumbhakam, rechakam, purakam, all of them, grana pidana. Why? Because you have to hold your nose. So you have two different, see, one is Surya and the other is Chandra. This is Chandra, this is Surya. And you press one and breathe in. You press one, you breathe in. And you press the other and breathe out. This is a good practice. Very good practice. Nadi Shuddhi. Anybody can practice this. And this is a wonderful thing. You will have no sinus problem. And also for mind and all that, lot of diseases we can cure with this Nadi Shuddhi. So you breathe in, holding this through one nostril, and then breathe out. Then breathe in and breathe out. So in between you can retain for a few seconds or minute. So you have to hold your nose. And therefore he says, that is prabuddhanam, Ajnanam grana pedanam. Muka pudichukoda. Grana pedanam means the muka pedanam means pidikkiradhu. Pedanam. Pyasi pudichukodu. So this pedanam, grana pedanam, nose holding. So, not criticized, only that much alone. This is again and again. This is very real. This area, there is one thing that this author emphasizes is very real in Vedanta. This is the most important thing in Vedanta. The negation is very popular. The other is not popular. I don't know why. So, some problem. Look at this. Vishayeshvatmatam drishtva manasaschitimajjanam pratyākārasya viññeyaḥ abhyasaniyo mumukṣubhiḥ. Akriyate iti ahara. What is taken is called ahara. Food also is called ahara. All sense objects are called ahara. All sense pleasures, all sense objects, everything, feeding the senses. So this is called ahara. Then pratyahara, withdrawing from the pursuits of sensory world. That withdrawal is called pratyahara. In the Ashtanga Yoga, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, the fifth one. In the Ashtanga Yoga. So this pratyahara, he tells here, no, pratyahara is meant for the mind to not go after fancies. So it is all chitta vritti. He says, Vishayeshu atmatam drishtva, you are afraid of the Vishayas, objects of your perception and pleasure and so on. You are afraid. But then Vedanta is different. You look at the Vishayas, all the objects, as not separate from Atma. Atmatam drishtva Vishayeshu. No object has got a being without Atma being there. A Vishaya has no Vishayatvam. Gata has no Gatatvam. And therefore, Gatatvam belongs to what? Belongs to Atma. Atma has got Atmatvam. Gatatvam it doesn't have. That is only Mithya attribute. So when Gatatvam Vishaya is Mithya, then Satyam is there. The Satyam is Atmatvam, that is you. And therefore, Vishayeshu Atmatam Drishtva. In all the Vishayas, Shabdasparshadi, all the five sense objects, Atmatam Drishtva, in all of them, myself being there as the substantive, Drishtva, Manasā Chitimajjanam. That way, the mind is always in the Chiti. The mind is soaked in Chiti. Chit, that is consciousness. Atma. Manasā chiti majjanam. Majjana means soaking, drowning. And therefore, keeping the mind in water. Keeping the mind in water, holding the head in water. What is the water? Water of consciousness. Good snana. Snana. Ganga snana. Ganga is knowledge flow. And it is conscious. Flow because from teacher, student, it keeps going. And in that, you expose yourself, that is called snana. This jnana ganga snanam, chiti majjanam, manasā. This is the best pratyahara. You don't require to take the mind away. Wherever the mind goes, there the consciousness is, and that you are aware of means then it resolves into that. That fact is no more away from you, denied to you. In such a way you contemplate. Vishayeshu atmatam drishtva manasā chiti majjanam pratyaharasya vijñeyaha. This is to be understood as pratyahara. Abhyasaniyo mumukṣuvih. This has to be practiced by mumukshu. Those who want to gain moksha have to gain knowledge. This is the knowledge. Yatra yatra mano yati brahmanastatra darshanat manasā dharanam chaiva dharanasā paramātā. Yatra yatra mano yati brahmanaha tatra darshanat. Hamiji. That means there is a question. Hamiji. The mind in meditation doesn't stay with Atma, stay with Brahman. I've been teaching about Brahman. Brahman is everything we say. The seer is Brahman, seen is Brahman, sight is Brahman. And this fellow says, my mind does not stay in Brahman. What shall we do? Leaving all these fellows, you go away and live a sadhu life. Go away means to live a sadhu life. And then you leave the sadhu life to teach these people. And then afterwards again you have to leave these people and then go to live a sadhu life. In between what life I don't know. And so, really, this is a very difficult situation. You get this kind of questions because they are there. So that means there is some block is there in understanding this, okay? The communication, it's not that easy. Now put it this way. There is one way. You bring the mind back. This yato nishcharati. Tatastato nembhitat. Atmanyavasham nayet. Bring the mind back to yourself. Whenever it moves away from your contemplation, bring it back to Atma. This is one advice. It's not a sound advice, but it is one advice. Another advice is, Where does the mind go? Please find out. Give order to your mind. This is another form of contemplation. O mind, please think about something that is outside Brahman. Come on. O mind, go to something outside Brahman. Give a new order. Outside Brahman. Brahman is consciousness. Understand? Brahman is consciousness, consciousness is Brahman. Please, O mind, go somewhere, think about something outside consciousness, which is Brahman. What will you do? Outside Brahman. Brahman is consciousness. So outside consciousness, mind has to go. Wherever it goes, suppose you think outside consciousness. Oh mind, go outside consciousness. This concept outside consciousness, foolish concept, but that concept is in consciousness anyway. Even this outside consciousness is inside consciousness. So there is no outside consciousness. Therefore, Brahman, if it is whole, so everything falls within that. So what is outside the whole? What is outside the limitless? Nothing. And therefore, never in the past. Past was consciousness. Present is consciousness. Future will be consciousness. It is timeless. And time is not outside consciousness. And therefore, yatra yatra mano yati. Yelli mana, mind, ಹೋಗ್ತದೋ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಏನ್ರಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಹೌದು. Wherever the mind goes, there is Brahman. That I am. Make sure it goes to right places. Because you have to say that I am. So, you can say that I am not that, no problem. Because there are things in the world. The mind goes to poison ivy. Very natural. These are all a lot of natural freaks. Natural, everything natural. And organic, natural. So organic, natural, poison ivy also, or organic, natural, no fertilizer, it's all grown, homegrown, and organic, and very natural. And that the resin is there, some substance, oil is there. And you extract the oil, and then create facial cream. Facial cream. Natural. Untouched. Nothing. It's pure natural. We take from the leaf. It's all natural. Right away you can apply, natural. There are in the world a lot of things natural which are not good for you. There are things, a lot of things artificial which are not good for you. And artificial also is natural. You just make a difference line. Artificial also is natural. It's not that all natural is good. Artificial is not somewhere from another planet. Even it comes from another planet, it's within the universe. It's all natural. Certain things are good for you, certain things are not good for you. That's okay. A little shift in thinking, that's what I want. To be objective. Vedanta is to be objective. Very dispassionate. Don't get caught here and there. So the extreme. Can't get caught in these extremes. So yatra yatra mano yati. Wherever the mind goes, brahmanaha tatra darshanat tatraiva brahma asti. Because sarvam brahma. There is nothing outside consciousness which is Brahman. And therefore, so tat darshanat, by recognizing Brahman in that very object, wherever it goes, then this is the manasā dharanam. This is the focusing of the mind, dharanam. Dharanam is an advice in the Ashtanga Yoga. One of the steps, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So this is the sixth one. Dharanam iti, sixth one in the 8 steps. That dharanam is focusing, fixing up the mind. Capacity to focus the mind for a length of time. Now this is the focus. Yatra yatra mano yati. Therefore we need not try to bring the mind, gather itself to focus upon a one thing, not any other. Here any other, you focus upon one thing because any other thing also is Brahman. You focus upon one thing, only one thing, and there is no other thing available. You cannot move. Your mind cannot move. Let it go anywhere. What a beautiful thing. This is the contemplation. Tomorrow we will do. And so this is the contemplation. This is the contemplation. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadheha. Don't try to bring the mind. Let the mind go. And ask it to go away from yourself. It cannot go. And it will keep quiet. Don't give power to the mind. All the power is with you. Ask the mind to go, come on, you are free. I have freed you now. You can go wherever you want. Go. Then it goes within you. So you remain. You need not go piche. It's not that you allow the mind go and then you go like the mother. So going along with the child to feed the child. The child goes all over. And then mother goes along with the food and then gives the food. So this is another nice, beautiful thing to watch. And so you do that. Very nice. So without curbing the child, you go after the child, which is a very beautiful thing to do. Sit down. This is it. This is all unconscious. Later we have to process. So this is really. So this is just go along with the child and then feed. That's beautiful. Allow the mind to go and afterwards you go along with that. And then show the child the toy of Brahman. This is Brahman. Hey, come on, you remain yourself. The mind goes all over. Cannot go away from you. That's the beauty. That's contemplation. Manasā dharanam chaiva. Dharanasa paramānandamupadeṣṭāramīśvaram. This is the final ultimate dharana. There is no other dharana. Because you don't have to be exclusive. To the exclusion of other things, you think about one thing. That is dharana. You are also. Without an exception, the mind can think of anything, there is only one thing. That is dharana, paramata. That is parayati nischita. That is the ultimate, there is nothing more in it. Nothing more you require. Brahmaivasmiti sadvritya niralambataya stitihi dhyana shabdena vīkṣāta paramānandadayini. Dhyanam. In the Patanjali Dhyanam, meditation that is advised in the Ashtanga Yoga, they have got a certain locus and then certain thing to be superimposed upon that. Then that is called dhyanam, and then you meditate, think about it. In all upasanas, there is one object and you superimpose something very big upon that small object and then you invoke. Invoke that object and then meditate. Do puja, do japa, etc. So in all upasanas, dhyanas, there is alambana, a locus. This alambana is very important in dhyana. In this Ashtanga Yoga, they will ask you to meditate upon Mooladhara, etc., the chakras. Call it chakra, some center, psychic center. It's not physiological, psychic center. So these centers you meditate upon. They say that. Now, that is used, now that is taken. What is dhyanam? Therefore, it is not going to be the same thing. Where there is alambana, a center is there. You call Mooladhara, you are imagined to think of that center. Then you meditate on that. Now he says, this is dhyanam. This is also converting the word dhyanam into meditation. Brahmaivasmiti sadvritya niralambataya stitihi. I am Brahman. Brahmaiva ahamasmi. I am. Ahamasmi, I am. Brahma and Brahmaiva. Nothing but Brahman. I am but Brahman. Iti sadvritya. By this akhanda akara vritti, which is the sadvritti, the vritti that is ultimate vritti, this is sadvritti. And sadvritti can be taken as the final vritti, noble vritti, or a vritti that involves satyatma. Sat vritya, by this vritti, akandasmi, akanda brahmaivahamasmi, iti sadvritya. Niralambataya stitihi. There is no alamba here. So, I am not the alamba for Brahman. I am not meditating upon aham as Brahman, superimposing. This is purely knowledge, because it's a fact. I am not meditating, superimposing Brahman upon Atma. Atma is Brahman. That is not any superimposition. And suppose you say, Ganga is sacred, and there is a superimposition, deliberate. And it has been coming down, and therefore you take a bath. So to wash off the papa, you take a bath, Shraddha. That does it. Shraddha does it. That becomes really a deity-like. Therefore, Snanam becomes really auspicious and efficacious too. Shraddha. Therefore, you can, in any form, anything you can invoke. Ishvara you can invoke because everything is Ishvara. In one form you can invoke Ishvara. So there is Alamba. Like we invoke in the Alamba, there is Alamba. That is the idol, the altar. In the altar you worship the Lord as Dakshinamurti, as the teacher, as the source of all knowledge. And you can invoke also as Lord Shakti today. They will be for 10 days, Dakshinamurti changes gender. And so, in fact, he doesn't need to change gender. Both he and she are there. We don't have these problems. Our gods are all clean. There is no gender bias. And so it's only he. I told you, that Maulvi got fits. When I said God should be both male and female, and it was a resolution for a women religious leaders conference. And I was invited and I was asked to write the resolutions. I wrote these resolutions. One resolution was, God should be both male and female. There should be no gender. There should be no gender. Say he's a conscious being, all-knowing. If you give a gender, then call God father and mother also. And the resolutions went through before the conference you write the resolutions. And then pass them. Whatever you want to pass, you pass. But they go through the religious leaders because they will object. So you do get it done all before. So these resolutions went to Maulvi. I knew that it's going to Maulvi and Bishop. Therefore, purposely I wrote to see what happens. And then they read and then completely destruct it. God is male. They're very sure. God is male. No female. What about mother? That's all God's creation. God is only male. And everything else is all created for man. Everything else is created for man. Yesterday, the Pakistan president, the president of Pakistan, who is a recently elected president, he was visiting America. And I hope he will continue to be the president there. And so, especially when they go out and then return, they are asked to settle down somewhere. You don't come. The plane doesn't land there. And so what happened? This time I hope you will go back. And because the army chief is organizing it now. One by one he is changing people and all that. It will take some more time, I think. So again it will be army rule. There is no question. He attracted a fatwa. A fatwa, not a life, but some fatwa. It's a kind of a blemish for him. And he reprimanded. What was that? He saw this pollen. Yeah, they say. Yeah, Palin. Yeah, Palin. He saw Palin and then he met her and then he said, oh, I heard a lot about you. Now I understand why you were so popular. He said something like this. And then he praised something, and I don't know what, he praised her. The fatwa is, a non-Muslim woman you praised publicly. And a non-Muslim woman you praised her, and you talk to her you talk to her and loosely, and therefore fatwa. You are reprimanded. Huh? A non-Muslim woman. He is wearing a short skirt or something. He doesn't get reprimanded by any of these people. But because he talked to her, he gets reprimanded. You can now understand the glory. Very dangerous. So another time if he does that, and they will say, kill him. That's what they will say. Today's news. Brahmaivasmiti sadvritya niralambhataya stitihi. There is no alamba. You are not holding on to anything. That is why Vedanta is not easy. It doesn't give you crutches. And there is no possibility of being a snob. This suppose you say you have to be like this, you have to be like that, and things like that. You create some of these, the mystic, this trappings around. And all these are, they create all this, some kind of awe and order. And the Guru comes and then everybody gets up and then all silent, no talk, nothing. It's all creation. That will take you for 10 years. Afterwards you don't know what to do, therefore you continue. Create all that awe and wonder. Maybe it's necessary, I don't know. But I am not capable of it. And truth is simple. When Swami Chidananda passed away last month, he is the disciple of Shivaga, very, very senior monk. And he was the head of the Divine Life Society. And he gave a correct instructions how his body should be disposed of. He wrote that letter in the year 2000. The letter was kept with his disciples who were around. The body should be disposed of within 3 hours and without fanfare, and it should be given to Ganga. And in Ganga there should not be any bhu samadhi, means it should not be buried. It should be given away to Ganga. I am the soul, this I am just telling deliberately, And therefore I'm not carried away by anything, I'm just telling you. And there's some information, you should know this particular way of thinking. And this body doesn't belong to Divine Life Society. There are only 4 people. One is God, one of those people. One is God. He has got authority because he really formed this body. And then the other is my father and mother, and especially mother because she had to wait the traditional 9 months. I don't know what is the traditional 9 months. And then she bore, and afterwards she underwent aches and pains and then delivered. And therefore she has got an authority over this body. And then myself, I've been an occupant, I'm a tenant. I am a tenant for 84 years. So I'm a tenant in this tenement for 84 years, and therefore I have got sole authority. You know, when I have been a tenant, this is really Bombay flat. So 84 years I've been a tenant, and therefore I am the sole authority, left to nobody else. And therefore I am deciding now. He didn't allow God to decide. I am deciding now. He said this. I am deciding now that this body should be consigned to Ganga. Jala Samadhi. Ganga will be polluted. And Jala Samadhi. So I want to put it in Ganga. So okay, because in the Rishikesh they do this, and therefore he wanted to do that, is fine. And I should be, this only the ritual should be 5 times Mrityunjaya mantra, 16 times Omkara. That is also fine, no problem. Then afterwards he says, the rituals and all that must be done by these people who have been with me. Only those people can do. And then this, he mentioned names. One Rameswarupananda and Rameshwarananda or something, Rameswarupananda, Swami Rameswarupananda, and one Sharma, one Muhurmuhuḥ of Pattamadai. All these people should not touch this, should not join this ritual in handling anything, and they should not touch. As written. Fatwa. Some kind of I don't know what the reason is, and then so I tried to find out. So like this he wrote. What? It's a very big surprise for me. So it's a kind of fatwa. But he was a very noble person. Maybe these people had done something that he didn't approve or whatever, they went against him. I have no idea what it is all. But this is what is written. He was highly respected and very soul. Age might have done something. 84. So. Without alambanam, this is gone. Without any alambanam, very difficult I say, because Vedanta doesn't give you any such prop. No prop. We have no prop. We knock off all the props. Pure Vedanta means knock off props. So that's why some disciplines have to be there. And that alone can keep the person going. Otherwise, there's nothing to hold on. Unless one is ready for it. is ready. So we require props. Brahmaivaham asmiti sadbuddhya niralambataya sthitihi. So this Brahmaivaham asmiti vritti, this vritti, you see the meaning. You bring the vritti by the words. You repeat the words and you see the meaning. Vritti goes. You are the meaning. There is no object. There is no alambanam. And therefore only the knowledge that is I am. So that wholeness of the vastu. So that alone is self-revealing consciousness, the whole. Then again you bring in the vritti and stay. And then vritti and stay. This is the nididhyasanam. Brahmaivaham asmiti, this sthitihi, dhyana shabdena vyākyata. This is very well known and explained in this way by dhyana shabda, by the word dhyanam. This is the real dhyanam. Paramānandadayini. It gives you paramananda, the wholeness, the limitlessness. That confers upon you limitlessness because Brahma is limitless, Brahma is whole, that is aham, that is aham, I, and the Brahman, there is no difference. And therefore, all the other notions of smallness, etc., it has resolved into this knowledge. And therefore, Paramanandadayini. So, this vrittihi, yam vrittihi. The last one. Nirvikarataya vrittya brahmakarataya punaha vritti vismaranam samyak samadhir jnana samjakaha. We'll do it later. Purnamidam purnāt purnamudachyate purnasya